One of the most common errors in a lifting regimen is not giving all the muscles in your body enough attention. The result of this can just be muscle imbalances or lack of development through the body. An example of this is the need to horizontal pull as much as you push. And in other words, as I'm going to explain in this video, bent over row as much as you bench press. What's going on, guys? This is Tim back at you again for another video, and before we get started in the video, I just want to apologize for the lack of uploads lately. Things have been a little bit of a grind lately, and so I decided to take a little bit of a step back from YouTube just for a little bit, just because I gotta make sure I focus on all the things going on in my life right now, all the right now type stuff, and what I could cut out and kind of like give myself more time to breathe was YouTube. But that being said, I'm gonna try to get back into it a little bit and bring you guys as many uploads as I can, as long as it's, manageable. And so this week we're gonna cover the bent over row. For some of you, this exercise is completely missing from your regimen, and this could work wonders for you guys. And for others of you, you might just not do this workout properly, and you're probably not getting the most out of the movement. And for some of you, you're probably rowing 315 with perfect form, and this video just isn't for you. Anyways, the bent over row is one of the greatest exercises for back development, and it is considered a compound movement. For those of you who don't know what a compound movement is, it's basically the big lift such as a bench press, a deadlift, a squat, an overhead press. I would consider pull-ups to be one because I think it's a great measure of true upper body strength, and then the bent over row as well. These are basically the movements that you should focus on if you want to see significant strength and muscle gains, whether you're a beginner or an advanced lifter. It's important that you practice getting perfect form first, and then you can add weight later to see the best results. And the barbell bent over row is definitely one that people get the form wrong the most. I think one of the first things that it really comes down to when it comes to bent over row is just how low you're supposed to get. More often than not, you see people that are just too upright doing the motion, and then they pull the bar with little T-Rex arms. But it might not be easy to really get as low as you want to get because you feel like your lower back might jump in too much. Therefore, when you set up for a bent over row, I would do what you see here. I pick the bar up, and then I kind of perform like a slight Romanian deadlift, which also might be hard to figure out, but basically you just hinge backwards by pushing your hips back, engaging your hamstrings so that your hamstrings are holding you up, and trying to keep as little engagement on the lower back as possible by also bracing the core. So this will help get your torso almost parallel to the ground. And the result of this is when you contract your lats, when you really retract your scapula, you cover as much surface area as possible throughout the back in each contraction. So this leads us to our next couple cues, is you really want to fully extend your arms all the way down without pulling your shoulders forward. You really want to stretch your lats as much as you can each time. However, if you let the shoulders fall forward, you're going to let your thoracic spine and even your lumbar spine round as well, which is really what you want to avoid. You really want to avoid any stress there. Keep your torso very compact each time that you stretch the bar down. Keep your torso as compact as you can each time that you really stretch your lats. Much like on a bench press, you really want to depress your shoulders and kind of puff your chest forward. You'll still be able to stretch the lats, you're just not going to collapse forward when you do so. This leads into our next cue, and that is when you pull, you want to pull with the elbows. What you don't want to do is pull with your hands, as you see here. When I pull with my hands like this, I'm really only activating the arms. This is a very common issue in a lot of people's bent over row form. They don't feel it in their lats or their back at all. They just feel it in their arms because they're just pulling with their hands like this. In fact, this is really an issue on most every back exercise. So the way to start utilizing this form properly and really pulling with the elbows is to keep the wrists neutral and keep the elbow going tight towards the body. Once your elbow reaches the side of your body, start to really retract your scapula as hard as you can and get the elbows further behind your back. And this is going to initiate a very strong back contraction. And I say back because it's not just the lats that are initiating this contraction. There's a ton of muscles in the back, and you're going to develop most all of them in this motion. And that's another thing, is you want to utilize every contraction properly. You don't just want to crank the weight up, get a split-second contraction, and then let the weight drop abruptly. What you want to do is control the weight on the way up and squeeze each and every contraction. Then, of course, to fully develop a motion, you want to control the eccentric on the way down. I'd say if you are low enough to the ground, the bar should hit right about at your belly button each time that you pull. And obviously, you don't want to lose tension by going too fast in this motion. Another common thing you see in the gym is a lot of momentum being used in this motion in order to lift as much weight as possible that the person can't handle. Not only by continually doing this movement wrong, you're not really getting anything out of it, but by thinking you can lift more and more weight, you're actually putting your body in a lot of danger. Plus, faces like this are kind of scary. So as we wrap this checklist up, let's just take a look here at how all these proper form techniques are utilized. As you can see, I'm not bent straight down. I make sure to hinge my hips back and make sure that my hamstrings and core do all the work in holding myself in this position. I let my arms stretch all the way forward without letting my thoracic spine and torso bend forward as well. This way I get a good stretch in my lats. When I pull with my elbows all the way up past my thorax and get a good contraction every time, and then I control it eccentrically. And for the record, controlling a concentric and an eccentric contraction just means that you're going the same sort of speed throughout the entire motion, without of course any momentum or letting gravity just pull the bar out of your hand. And as mentioned before, I'm also pulling with my elbows. I'm not pulling with my hands, therefore I'm keeping the arms out of it, although there'll still be a little bit of residual bicep activation here as well. But you get that in just about any pulling motion. It's about how much you activate your back that really matters, except on bicep curls. that's an arm exercise. And of course, and perhaps the most difficult cue here is to really keep that thoracic spine nice and compact. Just picture that it's a reverse bench press. You're trying to keep the shoulders nice and depressed and keep the chest forward. This will ensure that even when you're in full extension, getting a good stretch in the lats, you don't let your thoracic spine collapse forward. Add each of these cues to your barbell row and throw the ego lifting out the window and you will see great results. Not only is it pretty underrated to get your back nice and filled out, but working these antagonistic muscles to the bench press that a lot of you guys love to do will actually make it stronger and more stable. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for tuning in again. I know it's been a little while since my last upload, but be sure to subscribe and like the video anyway, because I will make more videos in the future. I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to do it more on my schedule. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate each and one of you guys. Let me know what you think of the video and what you want to see in the future, and I'll talk to you all later.